All right, guys, here we are. Welcome to our live talk number 7. It's the 8th again. It's also the 9th again. And it's also like, I don't know, we got different time zones today. It's a little bit crazy. We got Chris Menzer in the house today. He's already in the Zoom room with me. So you will hear from him in just like maybe 2 minutes. And then we got Fran all the way from down under, from Sydney, Australia. She's going to log in just a little bit to share her story. And then, yeah, that's going to be like super exciting. For me, it's actually 4 a.m., 4:05. So I got up really early today for you guys, but that's an honor. So I'm just going to share my screen real quick so you guys know what's ahead. And then we're going to get started really, really quickly. So thanks for tuning in again, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm really happy we made this a little bit of a routine to, come together every 8th, every 16th. So obviously we're going to start today with, like I said, the expert talk by Christopher Menzer. He actually published a book. He's going to tell us all about it. You can get that book later, but he's going to give us the essence of it in just a quick expert talk. We're going to talk about fitness made simple. I'm going to make sure you guys see that here on the screen. I hope you do. Yeah, that looks good. Fitness made simple, so he's gonna tell us all about that. And then, like I said, you're gonna meet Fran all the way from Sydney, and then we're gonna do the surprise shout-outs later today, because it's really kind of late for Chris already. He actually stayed up for us, which we really appreciate, so we're not gonna, just delay it any further. All right, guys, so honestly, without further ado, I just really wanna pass on the mic and the word to our expert today, which is Mr. Chris Menzer. I'm gonna get him here on the screen for you guys so you can see him. Gonna stop the screen sharing. Let me see. All right, Chris, you're live on the virtual stage. Thank you so much for making it possible, and thanks for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very glad to be here. Thank you guys for having me. Can everyone hear me okay? You can hear me all right?
I'm gonna put the chat up, but yeah, there, all good.
Great. All right, cool. So, yeah, I published my first book.
I think you have to turn. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Can you hear me
Perfect.
now?
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, cool. So, yeah, I'm really glad to be here. Thank you for having me. It's only 10 p.m. here, so I didn't really stay up too late. It's still Friday night for me. It's still early enough. But yeah, thank you for having me. And yes, I published my first book almost exactly a month ago. And the title is Fitness Fast, and then the subtitle is Fitness Made Simple. So this is something that I've been working on since 2019. Actually, I started it in 2019. And then it was kind of a COVID project for me, actually, when all of the lockdown stuff was happening. It kind of gave me a lot of more time to write this. And it's 13 chapters. It's everything I've learned in the past several years about fasting, and essentially how you can make it something that is a lifestyle for yourself.
It's awesome. Did you want to share your screen or anything, or do you need me to do anything for you?
No, so I did send the link to the book in the chat.
Perfect. That's perfect. Let me see if it's there. Yeah, perfect. There it is. Oh, there's Sanjay tuning in from India. So we got India in the house. Hey, Sanjay.
Great. Yeah. So this book is 13 chapters roughly, plus a closing chapter. I start off by kind of talking about my struggles that I had with fitness when I was younger. So basically, when I was a kid, and even when I was in college, I was always a very skinny kid. I was almost like self-conscious, like I didn't want to take my shirt off in public. I always felt like my chest was really shrunken in. I had thin shoulders and thin arms. And so fasting is never really something that I thought would benefit me growing up. And so it wasn't until after I graduated college and I started seeing YouTube videos of different fitness influencers that were talking about intermittent fasting. And this is something that intermittent fasting had been popular since probably like around 2012, but I didn't really hear about it until about 2017. And that's when I started to do it. And when I started to do this, it's something that I really went all in for. And I started off just doing intermittent fasting. And so that's what I talk about in the book, is that when you do start doing fasting as a lifestyle, I really recommend starting off with intermittent fasting. This is a very easy way to kind of get yourself into the basics of fasting. And for me, the best part about this, like I said, I was a skinny kid growing up, is fasting actually promotes muscle retention. And so it was actually easier for me to go to the gym less and still gain lean muscle and lose body fat. So this was something that I had never considered before, because the food industry wants us to believe, oh, you need to be eating 6 meals a day. Every single meal needs to be balanced. You need to have a different, every single food group in each meal, and that's not true. But the reason that they tell us that is because the food industry is worth billions of dollars, and what do they care about? I mean, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist or anything. Just using common sense, they care about us eating the food, So of course they're going to promote breakfast food, lunch food, dinner food, desserts, and dairy products, literally everything. And they're going to promote that because,
I just saw this meme the other day that like you never see eggs or meat promoted on TV, even because they don't want us to eat that, because that's the food that satiate us,
Exactly. No, and you see a whole bunch of fake science out there about eggs and meats, and I even have, part of one of my chapters where I just really go off on a tangent about how healthy eggs are for you. And of course you can get like higher quality eggs, like the cage-free eggs and the free-range eggs are definitely the best. And you can even like see and taste the difference in those eggs. Some people say, like my dad, for example, he would probably say, oh, you just get the cheap eggs, you can't tell the difference. But once you start eating like the free-range eggs and the cage-free eggs, you can definitely tell the difference. They're higher in protein, and if you wanted to get into like the spiritual effects and like the what's the word I'm looking for? Like the essentially the vibrations of it as well. It's
the energy,
exactly. Because the chickens that are laying the eggs that are the cheap eggs are not necessarily the healthiest chickens, and I won't get into what they're fed and everything versus like the free range chicken and like cage-free ones, exactly. But you can use your imagination. So, but yeah, another thing about fasting is, as far as like the cholesterol and everything, that the food industry will tell you, oh yeah, you can't eat red meats or eggs because of the cholesterol. Well, fasting actually will help you to keep a healthier cholesterol level, so then you can still eat, eggs and meats as much as you want to within reason. So this is something that really struck a nerve with me, and that's what really, I don't want to say that was the main reason for me writing this book, because the main reason was fasting, but it's just a lot of like the mainstream, oh, everybody thinks this type of knowledge, that I was like, well, this isn't right. But everyone believes this, and I have a real problem with this, because I taught health in public and private schools for 6 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I taught health education and physical education for 6 years. And so this is something that I was very passionate about. And right before I started my book, I started to notice a lot more people talking about intermittent fasting. There's a lot more like people on Instagram and YouTube gurus. And so I thought, a lot of people are already talking about this. This is kind of an oversaturated market. But what a lot of people aren't talking about is prolonged fasting. And this is fasting over 24 hours, as well as dry fasting. People are not talking about dry fasting. You see a few people that are, but I mean, to be honest, like some of them are kind of strange. Like some of them talking about like drinking urine to do like fast
Oh,
over a week long. And
okay.
like most people are not going to do that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no.
And so I did mention that in my book. Like if you do want to do like a 40-hour, or not 40-hour, if you do want to do like a 40-day fast,
Uh-huh.
like this did or like Moses did, you might have to, drink your own urine. But I mean, how many people are going to do that? And
Right.
especially when it comes to like just for physical health, you don't really have to do that, I'm
Right.
not doing that. But otherwise, prolonged fasting, like the OMAD diet, 1 meal a day, I'm a huge believer in this.
Is that what
I
you do personally?
So in the winter time, I will do more of intermittent fasting, and I'll stick to like a 16 to 19-hour fast. But in the summertime, I'm a pool operator, so I'm by the pool all the time. I'm shirtless. I want to be lean,
Right.
um, and so I will switch to OMAD, and I'll do 23-hour fasts on a day-to-day basis, almost every single day, except for the weekends. Those will be my refeed days.
Would you have dinner or lunch, or how do you usually time it? Or
So when I'm doing OMAD, and my 23-hour fast, I will just eat dinner. So I'll eat
okay.
dinner every night around 8 p.m.
Okay.
And I'll have a massive dinner. I'll eat like
Right.
a king. Essentially whatever I want within reason. Like I'm not gonna eat a whole box of cupcakes.
Right, right.
But I can do this and I can still lose fat, and I know that I lose fat because I get leaner in the summer. But at the same time, I still go to the gym 3 days a week, and I'll lift heavier weights. So people in the fitness industry will tell you like, hey, you can't eat 1 meal a day. You need to eat 6 meals a day, or you won't be able to make gains. And like I'm living proof that that's not true.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we had Jake Frank, or we had other experts on who were saying the same thing, and I really appreciate you saying like yes, there is a lot of noise out there, and everyone seems to be an expert nowadays, which is, just the dangerous thing about it. Like nowadays, you can just post a YouTube video. You could be 13 years old, open a TikTok account, and be like, "Hey, I know everything about intermittent fasting." But really, like with all those things, and especially regarding our health, it really isn't about the quantity, but about the quality of the content. So I really appreciate you writing this book, because I can feel your heart. I can tell you're into this. I just happy you did it.
Yeah, and this is something, like I said, that I really care about. And when I published the book, I genuinely thought like, I don't really care if I make a whole bunch of money on this book. I don't really care if this is like an Amazon bestseller, like woo woo.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
not really important to me. What I do care about is that people read this and it genuinely like changes people's mindset. Like I hope people read this and the light bulb goes off. Because of, again, like, and I don't want to sound like I'm being pessimistic about the mainstream media, but again, it is like a lot of the lies that we're told by the mainstream media, so that they can exploit us for money. Like the pharmaceutical industry or the food industry. When really we don't need all that stuff.
Obviously, yeah, it's definitely like a vicious circle for sure. Like, but yeah, are you following any specific diet? Like, are you like doing keto preferably, or are you a vegan, or is there anything in the book about it? A chapter of the pros and cons, or anything on
I'm
that?
glad you asked. So in my book, I do talk about fad diets. I have a whole chapter about fad diets. I go over carnivore diet, vegan, vegetarian. I go over keto and paleo. I do believe all of those are fad diets for the most part. You can't really necessarily call fasting a fad diet because people have been doing this quite literally forever. It's in almost every major religious text, and I go over that too, as far as how an almighty and holy, omnipotent God would want us to be fasting, and he didn't tell us in the Bible, oh yeah, do keto, or
Yeah, right.
no, he said
It's a good
fast.
point. Yeah.
He said fast, and he said fast before your battles. Like, this is something that we're supposed to do to make us stronger. You know what I mean? And even in the Bible, it does say something like, he who is weak eats only greens, or something like that. So it's like blatantly like, hey, you shouldn't be doing vegan or vegetarian. And I know I'm going to get some hate for saying that, but that's not to say that you can't still do that. I've seen people that are very healthy on vegan and vegetarian diets, and that's absolutely amazing that some people that, I do believe that it's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
When you're doing vegan or vegetarian diet, you need to be very, very careful that you're hitting all your macros, that you're hitting the calories right. Otherwise, you can put your body into a catabolic state. And it's just something that is genuinely very difficult. Mm-hmm. Whereas fasting, it's so easy. It's genuinely so easy. And if you do put your body into a state, like I said, into a catabolic state with fasting, mm-hmm. it's so easy to fix, because all you have to do is eat at caloric maintenance for a couple weeks, or eat in a caloric surplus for a couple of days a week. And then you fix your body's metabolism. You fix your metabolic rate. So, and again, I talk about that in my book, how to do that. Because that is something that a lot of people are concerned about, and it's not something that's easy for people to understand, especially if you do have a lot of excess body fat. So
right.
That's something that I lay out in my book very clearly that I would recommend.
That's awesome. So you shared the link. That's great. I can see it here. Is there any other place people can like reach out to you? Are you on Instagram? Can they send you an email? Is there any other way, if they have questions, how they could maybe reach out to you? Or
yes. So I have a website, fit.idlife.com.
Do you want to put that in the chat as well?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
I'll put that in the chat as well right now. And there you can find some of the best pharmaceutical grade supplements that I offer through ID Life, which I'm affiliated with. And then also you can find me on Instagram as the best way to find me, and my Instagram tag is @_fitnessfast.
Perfect. Okay. Just put all that in the chat. And then that's awesome. Well, I'm gonna definitely get the book myself, see what you got to say. It's great. And then yeah, we're glad to have you in our community. I see you've been active too, engaging and just helping people. So I really appreciate that, and obviously for taking the time today.
Yeah, definitely. I just typed that in the chat. So
awesome. Yeah, I can see it. Fitness Fast. Perfect. It's easy enough. All right. Anything else you would want to share before you go to bed?
Well, I'm actually going to spend some time with my girlfriend tonight.
Perfect.
And then meet up with a friend. So it's still early enough.
Okay. Wasn't sure.
Friday, so I'm still going to enjoy myself.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, if anyone wants to reach out to me, I always do my best to answer DMs on Instagram, @_fitnessfast. And then I do have a free quiz on my website.
Oh, cool. Perfect.
idlife.com. And you can take that free quiz, and it will give you a health assessment.
Perfect.
So if you want to talk to me about that, again, you can reach out to me via my Instagram DMs. So.
That's really cool. I'm going to promote that once more. And then awesome. Well, enjoy yourself on this Friday night. I'm glad you're still having a little bit of time left and didn't take us too long here. Once again, really appreciate it. Have an amazing night, and I'll see you around virtually, or I'll read you around, so to speak.
Yes, most definitely. Thank you again.
Bye, Chris. Appreciate it. Be blessed.
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Good night. Alrighty. All right, guys. So I'm just gonna bring Fran in here. She's already in the waiting room, so this is working great. So always like a little bit of like I'm hoping everything goes right, but it usually does. So let me bring her in so you can meet her, and I can meet her. I haven't met her.